Let's go to the required reading. So our friends Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano right now on ESPN.com have a ton of intel on free agency and trades following the combine. And here's what they wrote about A.J. Brown. They wrote, teams have contacted the Eagles about a potential Brown trade, but word is that Philly's asking price remains too high. This lines up with what I heard about the Eagles' stance. They'd be open to the right offer, but it would have to be a really good one. They don't want to just get rid of Brown or need him off the team for any chemistry reasons. That's from, again, Graziano and Fowler on ESPN.com. That piece was from our buddy Dan. Peter, help us with this. What are you hearing about Philadelphia? What should we be expecting?
Howie Roseman's phone line is always open. Howie was only down there in Indianapolis for about 36 hours, but I will tell you that he spoke with all the agents, and you get a feel for what they're talking about. And A.J. Brown is firmly a part of the Eagles' future plans. However, this time of the year, Howie Roseman is your king wheeler dealer. So if you want to blow him over with an offer, you can certainly make the offer. But I will come on here on Monday and I will tell you after the combine, there is a lot less of a feeling that they are proactively shopping A.J. Brown. In fact, Sean Mannion's presentation to the Eagles, where he was one of 17 candidates for that offensive coordinator position, was one in which he showed cut-ups of what they could do with A.J. Brown. So I believe A.J. Brown will be an Eagle, but I will also tell you that Howie Roseman's line is always open, and if you want to offer the farm, he will listen.
I am in no way questioning the reporting, but I'm questioning whether at the end of the day this is the way this thing winds up going. I don't buy it. I mean, A.J., if we're going to look up disgruntled in the dictionary, there's going to be a picture of a wide receiver reading a book on a sideline. I know they won the Super Bowl that year, but things run their course. There's no way in the world that relationship is working. I don't care what anybody says. This is not about how good a player he is or isn't. At the end of the day, I still believe, at minimum, I believe it would be in everyone's best interest for him to start over someplace else. Tannenbaum.
Greedy, completely agree. I'll give you two win-wins. First of all, you go to Buffalo. The owner came out and said, we are going to get another receiver. They have the 26th pick in the draft. If I'm the Philadelphia Eagles and I could trade A.J. Brown for the 26th pick, I would take his money and make sure that we extend Jalen Phillips, a great trade they made last year, who played really well for them. And then go draft Omar Cooper. There's going to be a lot of receivers you could draft there. You talk about Doc connecting. How about Mike Vrabel with New England? They're desperate for an outside receiver. 31st pick in the draft. Reunite him with A.J. Brown from Tennessee. So I agree. 4 great years with the Eagles. If I'm the Eagles, I'm shifting that money from the wide receiver position to Jalen Phillips, and then I'm going to draft a receiver at the bottom of the first.
A big part of that is, what do the Eagles believe Devontae Smith is? Is he a number one? That's a big part of this, because it's a significant hole you would create in your football team as far as ability to play. Now, Devontae Smith, in the last 2 years, when A.J. Brown has not been available, 14 yards per catch, 9 yards per target, 3 yards per route. That's a number one wide receiver as far as statistical performance. There's just not a big body of work that Howie Roseman can sit there and say, I know it. There's a lot of indications that he is, but it's easier said than done. And so I understand, like, we're greater because of the subtraction thought process. That's a big hole on the football field. He is a dominant physical performer.
We have two recent things to point to in recent history. I'll go to Stephon Diggs when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. They moved on from him, and they said, with that draft pick, we will select Justin Jefferson. He was cheaper, and they thought there was a big upside.
Can I ask you a quick question in the middle of that?
Yeah.
But that wasn't a performance thing, correct?
No, that was also
chemistry.
Yeah,
yes.
Which sounds like this might be what we're talking about. The other one was A.J. Brown when he was with the Titans. They said, we'll move on, and we'll use that pick to take Treylon Burks. It's not a slam dunk that you draft a guy in the first round, and suddenly he's going to fill in for what A.J. Brown is.
I am not questioning the ability, the talent, the greatness, if you will, of A.J. Brown. They lost in the first round of the playoffs this year. He had 3 catches for 25 yards. I mean, what are we talking about?
But that's because that's why we talked about last week. Was the drop-off this past season, because it was just this past season, was it because of Kevin Patullo in that offense and the mundane element and A.J. Brown running literally the same route every single play? Or was there something else? Is A.J. not the dominant player anymore? Is the chemistry and connection with the quarterback? You hear a lot of rumors out there. Is there truth to them? That's what they have to kind of determine.
There's another axiom that applies here. I'd rather trade a player too soon than too late. He's right at 29. Probably has a couple more good years at that level. If I'm Philadelphia, the way they drafted, I understand they're not perfect. Nobody is. But there's so many good receivers in this year's draft. I would be proactive, and I would shift his money to the defense, keep that defensive line strong. And again, Devontae Smith, I know Goddard's up. Maybe they re-sign Goddard. With Saquon, that's still a really good skill group.
We live in a world right now where 5 or 6 receivers get drafted in the first round every year. Yeah. And you know what else happens? 5 or 6 more get drafted in the second round.
Yeah, right.
There
might be 20 taken in the first 3 rounds this year.
Yeah, there's a never-ending stream with the way college football is
right.
of super talented wide receivers coming into the league. And you know what? The best trades are the ones that work for both sides. You don't have to try and it doesn't have to be a winner and a loser. Right. This might be a deal that winds up working out well.
To a close, some of the standouts on Thursday. Styles continued to wow with his 11-foot 2-inch broad jump. These are linebackers. And he was a blur all year as advertised. 4.26, tied for the 5th fastest time at the combine in more than 20 years. Well, my promise not to bother Kyle Brandt lasted about 2 weeks. There is no offseason in the National Football League. A little late-night takeout on the back end of the combine. And an admission off the top, I wrestle with the combine because on the one hand, the next time, Kyle, that they set up cones to run the shuttle drill on 4th and 3 will be the first time because it's not football. And yet, I'm interested in the stories. I thought Stacey Dale did an awesome job about the human element. Love it. Love that. So I find myself actively consuming, and so I get what it's valuable about it. How do you sort of see what is important about this weekend in Indianapolis?
I can help you, Scott. I can help your perspective. I always look at it as a big movie trailer. And who doesn't love a movie trailer? It's this movie you can't wait to see. You've waited years for it. And there's just a little sizzle, and you see some of the principles involved, and there's action, and there's music, and it's packaged. Now, listen, that movie might suck. It may be a terrible movie when it actually comes out. Right. But the trailer is really, really exciting. All it does is gear you up and let you know who you should be tracking. So, I can't wait for the Dune 3 trailer this year. And I was in on the Combine trailer as I am every single year. You try it. You'll like it. You like trailers.
I do. Okay, so maybe Love is Chalamet. Maybe from Notre Dame, we see a star. We knew he was a star, right? And maybe his Oscar moment is coming. I don't know. This guy's going to be a star in the National Football League. I believed it just based on what he did on the field, and then nothing he did in Indianapolis dissuaded me. Where are you with that?
Top 5 pick, I think, is the best Notre Dame running back since Jerome Bettis. And I'll lead with you, Scott. More cinematic love here. I took my dad. My dad's Notre Dame class of 66 for his 80th birthday. We went to Notre Dame versus Army at Yankee Stadium. We're in New York City. It's really good Army team, top 20 team. First guy we run into, that's Bob Brandt on the right and Joe Montana on the left. We're talking up, Joe, what do you think? This Army team's good. We say, Joe, any chance there's going to be an upset tonight? And he goes, not with number 4 right there. And he points to Love as Love is kind of warming up before the game. Scott, we see Joe again as the second half is starting. Love's had 2 touchdowns the first half. My dad, Bob Brandt, goes, any chance of a comeback tonight, Joe? On the first play from scrimmage of the second half, Love goes 60-plus yards. Joe goes, not with number 4 out there. And I'm like, Joe Montana, you are so cool. And that was when the real legend for me started in that New York night in Manhattan as Joe Montana is just absolutely just hyping us up about him. It's a wonderful thing.
I have buried the lead tonight, and I apologize.
What do we got?
Well, I think given the seriousness of what's going on in the world, we could all use a timeline cleanse, and I got it when I happened to open up your feed and saw you on stage at the Metro in Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, would you look at this unit? What's the name of the band, please?
The name of the band is Section L, which was the section of our high school rule book that prohibited coming to school intoxicated.
Okay, and you're on stage. Obviously, something happened to the sleeves. Not sure what. How did this happen? What is this?
Thank you for asking. I'm honored. In high school in 1997, my best friends and I had a stupid, dumb cover band, and we played Stone Temple Pilots at the high school talent show. Now, well into our 40s, we said, we're getting old, we're getting slow, we're getting fat. Let's do something absolutely crazy. We rehearsed for 2 years. We played 14 songs for all our friends and wives and kids and parents. And we tried to do the Metro proud. It's never too late to do things with your friends. When you pass the wedding phase and the bachelor party phase, still try to find your best friends. And in this case, rock out to Pearl Jam. And there's a set list. Wow, you have everything.
Well, I'm imagining, you have a guitarist who's capable of playing Eruption.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love the Pearl Jam sprinkled throughout. STP, love it. And then I can't help but have my eyes drawn to we're never ever getting back together. What is this?
My daughter.
That's for
9
her?
years old. A lot of girls in the crowd, a lot of females in the crowd. The Taylor still brings it. We had a very, very eclectic set list, which I'm really proud of. You don't see a lot of Helmet, Unsung, and Taylor Swift in the same set list. But Scott, my question to you: you are a broadcaster. You are an orator. Are you a singer? Have you ever been in a band? Where's your video?
No. But the sad thing is that I can do it. I actually can sing, but won't, because this is a nervousness thing. I don't get nervous about anything. And I was going to ask you to compare, as a guy that wore the uniform of Princeton, right, as a thespian, and on stage singing, and then live TV, right? You've sort of performed in many different lanes. Is there a 1 to 10 nervousness that's higher here than maybe anywhere else?
I'll tell you this. The high is higher than anything you ever do. I understand why Shaq wanted to be a rapper. I understand why Manny Pacquiao was trying to be a recording artist. I get it now. As someone who's done other low-level stuff, even being on stage singing like a bad elderly woman Pearl Jam cover for my friends, it was the Super Bowl. And Scott, I just want another gig so I can pull you up on stage. I'm not going to let that skate. You're a singer who can sing, and I got that. But you're too nervous?
Yes. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on my anxiety, and I make you this solemn promise to maybe somehow be on. You do another gig, and maybe I'll come out and sing something.
Give us a track. I believe in a thing called love. What is it going to be?
No, I feel like I see In Hiding by Pearl Jam, but I don't know if I can hit the high notes.
Scott, I think you can. I really think you're tall enough. You're confident enough. That is a fantastic track off the Yield album. We will work on it for you. I promise. I'm not kidding.
All right. Somewhere along the way, 10 takes or whatever's going on, this thing took a left, but I don't care. Section L was in the building. Kyle Brandt,
this is amazing, Scott.
Thank you, man.
By the way, this is perfect because you're in hiding. You're hiding from the gig. Like, you got to come out, Scott. We'll get you.
Yeah, but
Thank you very much.
I want to feel that high. I want to feel that whatever that is.
Oh, baby.
All right.
I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. Trust me, it's up there, Scott.
Yeah, but then there's like Section L, then the lead singer rift. There's all sorts of problems that come with that. Thank you, man. Thanks. I appreciate it, Kyle.
Thanks, bud. Thank you.